So it looks like we're finally going to see what Catherine plans to do with those 3 Russian settlers. I think they're finally going to get to the New World here, and we might see maybe Russian California. Or I guess Russian Alaska, because I mean they're getting some. Well, actually no, never mind, because they are moving from the north to the south. But still, they need to try to hopefully get these settlers down immediately. I can think of a scenario because I've seen the AI do it way too often where they just kind of roam around for too long with the settlers. It's already turned 47. I mean, honestly, Russia needs to get this shit down fast. They need to put this down fast. And, one thing I forgot to mention in the previous video is I realize now how the Romans were able to get a city with 4 population. And it's because of a order-tenant ideology. I believe Catherine is also following order. Remember the revolution? Russia, through a revolution, I believe they were following autocracy previously, then their people forced them to go to order, which means that, I mean, they did just get a free social policy because of the World's Fair, so they might get that same policy that Rome has, so they kind of need that right now, especially if they don't settle their cities right now. Like I said, they don't have time to waste. They can't just send their settlers and settle in North or South Dakota or something like that. Like, no. Just go off the coast and you're good. You know what I mean? Because Russia really needs coastal cities. I understand that she has one now, but it is puppeted. Russia needs to find a way to get up a navy. So I'm really pulling for her here that she is going to hopefully get nothing but, Indonesia now declaring war on India. And here comes Indonesia actually going after the Champa. Here's the thing, Indonesia will probably not have much of a fleet left. Luckily for India, again, Delhi is not coastal, which has saved India countless times. Oh, Tibet is going after Babylon. Well, that would be interesting, wouldn't it? They might, no, they probably won't get it, but if they had another well-placed artillery unit, then yes, they probably would. Oh my goodness, wow. Okay, well, unfortunately for them, they're probably going to lose their melee troop, unless maybe this is a bomber, and then with the artillery attack, because Tibet obviously moves before Babylon. Oh, that's a triplane. Yeah, they're probably not going to get this, but they were dangerously close. Ethiopia is plotting against, who is this? Oh, the Boer. Yeah, they've been doing that for a while. All right, let's actually see if they take this. I mean, it is possible. The Indians look like they still have a pretty strong hold over their military, protecting Delhi, actually engaging more against, now Japan is getting after it. All right, we'll see who else can, oh, wait a second. When did Babylon get back this, all this city health? It was a lot lower before. Yeah, they're not going to take it now. I wasn't paying attention to that, I guess. And Babylon also has 2 riflemen. Tibet has more troops that they could send down. It's just going to be very difficult, I guess. Japan really won't make much of a difference against India. India is sending over their troops to the east to try to go into Champa territory. That's a terrible decision, and that's going to cause for Gandhi to lose a lot of his units if he decides to continue to do that. All right, so Babylon is safe for now. I was going to say that would have been interesting to see Tibet in the Arabian Peninsula, especially because then they'd be faced with having to deal with Ethiopia. Okay, so here come the Indonesians. Now, they have destroyed at least one ship, and obviously, I think they've destroyed one ship at least. Especially with all these submarines, they're going to have a lot of success destroying every naval unit that the Champa control, just east of the city. But will they be able to take it over? That's the question. I don't think so, because they've got nothing. They need to bring up a lot more. When the reinforcements arrive, then maybe. The thing is, though, will the AI get confused and send too many submarines to attack the city? I've seen that happen before. You can, AIs get confused, and I think it's with one of these mods, but AIs feel like they can melee attack with a submarine, so they'll just sit there and nothing will happen until they peace out. Now, this is a little bit different of a scenario because they have brought an air force nearby. They also are bringing melee units, so the submarines would actually technically be useful. They could be used as meat shields as they approach with infantry units. So in this situation, it wouldn't be that bad. Russia is moving to the south. I don't know about this. Maybe they're going for Hawaii. I guess they could. They could be going for Hawaii. Portugal still has a massive fleet in the Pacific. Or maybe they're going for New Zealand. Again, all I know is they need to get out a settler. They cannot waste time. They're wasting too much time. Champa's still... I mean, hey, they're having some success. I think they destroyed at least one Indian artillery unit. At least one. There's still obviously a few more, though. Tibet is just chilling in the Persian Gulf. I don't know what they're trying to decide here. They've got 3 artillery units, but they need a melee unit here nearby, too. I mean, honestly, Tibet, this would just bring Tibet into more wars. They probably shouldn't take over Babylon. I mean, I would like it only because it would maybe speed it up a bit. Although, you know, some of these civs now that only have one city, that's not what's taking up all the processing. That's not what's taking up much time. Because they go to, you know, it processes for like a split second. It's the big nations now. It's the Ethiopians, it's the Russians, the Mongolians, the Romans, the Koreans. Those are what's taking, you know, those nations are what's taking a long time to process for. Like Byzantium and Babylon, they take like a split second when you watch it. All right, so yeah, Russia is moving to the south. So we might be seeing maybe a Russian Hawaii. Here come the reinforcements. Japan's not going after the Champa, are they? I don't think they are, but if they are, then they might have some success here. Possibly. Yeah, I don't know if Japan is going after... I don't know if I said that right, but I don't know if Japan's going after the Champa. But if they do, yeah, they're going to have an interesting time there. Ooh, the Boer have now declared war on Indonesia. So what does that mean? If the Boer declared war on Indonesia, and the Boer are one of the last turns to process... one of the last AIs to process, could we see more AIs getting ready to declare war on Indonesia? And the Boer aren't even that powerful. Have they lost? I mean, they definitely have lost a few ships. I will say that. I think they've lost a few units, maybe one or two, while trying to attack this Champa city. And they'll definitely lose more. So maybe it won't be. Maybe it's not as, you know, it wouldn't be too surprising to think of a Indonesian coalition. The thing is, though, who would be able to take them out? Besides really the Philippines. And the Philippines have yet to rebuild their navy. They've got an army, but that, you know, you don't need an army. They need a navy. I guess Mongolia could maybe do some damage. Korea's now built the Manhattan Project. So the Manhattan Project's been being built all around here, which is good, because we will see atomic warfare more than likely, I'm sure, by the end of the campaign. Yep, there it goes. Okay, so Sweden declared war in India. But that's Babylon. I'm sorry, that's Byzantium and Austria. No big declarations of war there against Indonesia, but clearly they are losing troops, and Japan is, I think we can confirm, Japan is not going after the Champa. Let's watch as they reinforce, and exactly how they reinforce is the important thing. Oh, this is actually kind of a problem. They're only bringing over privateers. It looks like they might have sent back their infantry units, which is not what they needed to do. Portugal is a big one. Okay, so we just discussed how Portugal has a pretty massive fleet in the Pacific. There go the Philippines. Mali and the Philippines as well. Not a big deal there. Now, why are some of these wars being declared? That's interesting. But nonetheless, this will be a big deal. Ooh, France and the Boer. That's an interesting war. So there is our next big war. Pretty much a lot of Southern Asian nations getting at it. A lot of tension going on in South Asia. Let's not forget about India at war with Champa and Persia. We've got Tibet going after the final Babylonian city. And now we have the Philippines and Indonesia. And obviously the Indonesians were trying to take over this territory from the Champa, but that's not going to happen anymore, I don't think. I think more than likely the AI is going to be forced to retreat. No, I don't think Russia's going for Hawaii either. Oh, there we go. Okay, so they might still be settling on North America. Yes, they are going for Hawaii. It's possible that they might not. We're probably going to see next turn. Or maybe we're going to see Russia, New Zealand. Who knows? I do really like the... I guess they could be going for South America. There's a lot of territory and a lot of really nice resources in South America that Rome is still yet to touch. 2030. So obviously the colonization in this game is not very super accurate in terms of time. They're kind of slower on time. Sweden now going after Indonesia. Interesting. We should probably look at Sweden. Yeah, they've got quite a strong navy. They would have success if they were to go after Rome, but obviously they would lose probably everything, Rotterdam, Copenhagen, and this Danish city here. But they'd be able to take over, I'm thinking, Scotland, Roman Scotland, and Roman Norway. But yeah, at what cost? I mean, they'd lose 3 cities and gang 2 cities. I mean, it would just probably hurt both of them at the same time. Oh, there we go. Portugal and France. Oh, I love this. Oh, I love this. Oh, my goodness. All right, so finally we have a pretty big war, and actually this is a big one. This could really set Maria to a whole new level. Also, take note of the Roman settlers coming in North Africa, probably getting ready to move through Portuguese territory once again to go to Latin America. There's a 3rd settler in Antium. So Rome has not stopped their colonization. They might want to fully control. Oh, but let's not forget about the Mali War with the Romans. That is still a deal. That is still a problem. And remember, Rome was really trying to go after these coastal cities, but nothing happening too much there. Carthage has been reinforced by quite a few Roman troops, but they have this city remains unprotected from Ethiopia. I guess they're counting on the fact that Ethiopia will not attack this colony. I don't really care. Ethiopia plotting against France. I don't really care about spies anymore. Spies, I don't care about. Okay, I'm very interested to watch the Portuguese-French War. The wars that are going on before this didn't really matter. I mean, Indonesia just got nuked. They just got nuked. Is that Fallout? That had to have been it. How else would they? No, I guess they technically might have not have gotten nuked. That could be entirely from the Air Force. They've got 2 atomic bombs now. I'm pretty sure that city had to have never mind. They couldn't have got nuked because there's still units nearby. This artillery unit wouldn't have been there unless they would have bought it right after they got nuked, but I don't think so. Is Japan after Indonesia? Not yet, at least. Did Russia settle? Yes. Hawaii. We have Russian Hawaii. Probably Russian California. Where is this last one going? I'm thinking that's going to be Russian New Zealand. I think so. All right, so we've got 2 big fronts going on right now. One in Western Europe and the other in South Asia. The Philippines, I could see maybe grabbing quite a few islands to their south. Now, is Portugal turn? I don't think Portugal has processed their turn just yet. There are a lot of now. Looking at Napoleon's military, or I guess looking at the Napoleon Empire, it is somewhat of an optical illusion. A lot of these are generals, they're archaeologists, they're units that are behind in technology. The Champa have pieced out with Indonesia, so they will be safe in terms of that, which also is going to free up a little bit of the Indonesian fleet, which is what they really need, going up against this technology powerhouse. No, so I'm pretty sure they got that down with just units that were attacking from far away. Ooh, a destroyer is now attacking the city. We'll see if they use the other atomic bombs. Oh, and the Boer are moving towards Indonesia. Korea and Mali. So I am seeing a lot of Mali wars starting up. We have Ethiopia versus plotting against Theodora. Anything else going on? Tibet hasn't pressed forward against Babylon. And Delhi's doing just fine. But the Champa could really focus on attacking India now that they're not worried about the Indonesians. Yeah, there's still a pretty big force here out in the eastern part of the Indonesian Empire. That's right, and then we still have Portugal involved as well. Mali and Rome have pieced out, which is going to allow for Rome to focus more on their colonization of Latin America. Yep, here come 3 more settlers. That is incredible. I cannot believe there are so many settlers. And Portugal really going hard for Lyon. I don't think they have enough troops in the Mediterranean yet. Oh my goodness. And that was Genghis Khan declaring war on Korea. So we have, I would say, the First World War. There are 3 major conflicts going on. Oh my gosh, we've got paratroopers dropping down from the sky, dropping right in front of a massive Mongolian force. I don't know why they did that. That is going to end up being a big mistake for them. That dude is going to die really fast. Too bad Portugal didn't have this bugged out fleet near Indonesian territory. Indonesia will be attacking from the east, because it does look like they are trying to gather up their force and consolidate. Luckily for Russia, this is also a great deal for Russia because now Mongolia is distracted. Oh, maybe they're going to be settling here. They could be. All right, so, I mean, I would say this is a world war, especially because I wouldn't be surprised. Oh my gosh, did you get nuked here? No, I think that has got to be... So how are cities going down so fast? I'm guessing just the massive Air Force units. Yeah, those are a lot of bombers. A lot of bombers. This is funny because this is really what both of these 2 nations needed. Korea and Mongolia both really needed an extra oomph now that Russia has come out of nowhere. So depending on who wins this, as long as somebody wins this, it's going to have a major impact on this game. Very major impact. Okay, so is there anything else that we're missing? I don't think so. Let's see here. Rome is plotting against Mali once again. Ethiopia and Rome. Ooh, see, that's the big one. I think that we can call this a world war now, but if Ethiopia gets involved with Rome, then yes, there is no doubt in our mind 2032 is the first big world war. But I don't know. I think it's actually likely. I don't think that any of these nations that just declared war are going to peace out anytime soon. Okay, there goes France's attempt at reinforcements. France has somewhat of an air force. They're slightly behind in technology, whereas Portugal has somewhat of an air force too. Unfortunately for Portugal, most of their navy is out here in the oceans, discovering a lot of things, but they're not in the Mediterranean, which is where they really need them. Now Rome has open borders. Rome and Mali both offered open borders between each other, which is going to allow the Romans to get to Latin America even faster, which I'm sure is where they plan to colonize next, or continue to colonize. Yep, and I guess we're going to see kind of like a Russian Indonesia or something like that. Russia still hasn't settled that city yet. Oh, let's check if this started off. Yes, it did. It did start off with 4 population. Okay, so that's good for Russia. Obviously, that's very, very good for Russia. It's good for a lot of these nations that plan on colonizing. So it's interesting because we've got Rome continuing to gather up more land, but they're not really going after each other in terms of like war or anything like that. I think Indonesia might be safe, but it depends on if the Philippines actually decide to use those atomic weapons they have under their control. Let's see what Portugal can do here. Portugal desperately needs a city from France. Portugal desperately needs to sweep the French in this war. They absolutely need this more than anything else. If they were to gather up these 3 cities, one, that would be huge. That would be absolutely massive for Western Europe. I don't know if they're going to be able to do it. I mean, they have every single unit that they can over there fighting. It looks like the French are somewhat starting to upgrade to Great War Infantry, which is on the same level as the Portuguese. And we need to double check on... We need to also watch Eastern Asia. I apologize. I'm watching Indonesia and the Philippines. I'm watching... Oh my goodness. And there goes Mongolia. And I actually want to check before we hit next turn one more time. I really want to see exactly who has the numbers in all these wars. So Russia is still number 1. The Ethiopians have jumped up to number 2. Here's Mongolia at 4. Korea at 8. So Mongolia is at 400, over 400,000 men. Korea is at 200, almost 300,000 men. So there is a pretty big difference there. Almost 150,000 more on Mongolia's side. Rome might have fallen a little bit. Here's Portugal and Indonesia. The Philippines have a little bit, yeah, quite a big advantage, somewhat in terms of technology, at least over Indonesia. The Philippines have over Indonesia, and obviously the Portuguese should be dominating the French, but their military is not focused. I think we might see the Mongolians sweep Korea here. I think we might see that, which again is something that Genghis Khan absolutely needs. This is the perfect time to strike while Russia's focusing on colonization. It was a very, very smart move here. Okay, so the French process their turn first. They are doing an okay job here so far. I think part of the issue that Portugal is facing is that they're trying to take over this former Roman city. They're not going after Lyon, which is what they should be. As well as they should be reinforcing with more units inside of the Mediterranean. That's another big issue. Let's see if Mongolia takes their first city here. I think they will. Yes, they will. They will take their first Korean city. And it will definitely, I'm going to say, it's not going to be their last. It will not be their last. So Korea also has no colonies, which means that Korea could entirely be wiped out here. You know, if the Philippines were able to make such a strong push, then I could see the Mongolians absolutely rolling over the Koreans. Remember the Philippines. They dominated. And the Philippines, I didn't think were that strong. So I think that we could see Mongolia absolutely wipe out Korea here. Bam, there goes that city. Has the other one been founded? No. So we have 2 Russian cities so far. A very weird choice there, settling right next to the Indonesians. Still don't know why they did that. Very spread out. Let's see if what Portugal's attempting. And then I'll probably end it there. Let's see here, Portugal. What you got, man? What are you going to do? You've got carriers, which are not supposed to be next to the city. I mean, I guess if you wanted to use the bombers. You've got a bomber. Oh, I don't know what you're doing, Portugal. Yeah, man, we might be seeing maybe another Spain. They're very confused on where to attack. At least this also might pull Rome into a war for the eastern part of French territory. But anyways, guys, I'm going to stop right there. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys next time.